Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how I make and decorate this mini Bowser castle cake, which is in the new Super Mario movie. So I'm going to start, I think, with my top tier of the castle, and I'm using a chocolate cake, which the reason it looks hard is because I froze it. I froze it because I thought it would make it a little bit easier to cut into it. So that's our starting point. I'm going to use chocolate buttercream. I usually use cocoa powder, but I've run out of cocoa powder. So we're just going to put some melted chocolate into some buttercream for the filling on this one. And what I want to do is I've got 3 layers of cake. I'm going to cut a hole in the middle of each one because I want to fill inside the cake with some peanut M&Ms. It's a little bit hard to cut this out with the cake still being frozen. I should have really given it another 10 minutes so it kind of partially defrosted. Obviously, you can use a cake that hasn't been frozen. I just thought it would help me ganache it easier and help it keep its shape while I work on it. So let's stick it to our cake board. And then we're just going to simply layer it up with a layer of buttercream between each tier of cake. Just make sure not too much has gone in the hole in the middle, and we'll scrape off any extra from the side. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the whole thing in a layer of chocolate ganache. I will have to go fully inside the hole as well. If I don't cover the inside of the hole when I add my M&Ms, the moisture from the cake will make them damp and the colour and things will run out of like the sugar coating on them. So if we put a layer of ganache everywhere, it should hopefully mean that this won't happen to our M&Ms. So once I've covered it everywhere, smoothed it off, what I'm going to do is cheat and use some Swiss rolls. So I've got like a chocolate Swiss roll here. It's a little bit tall. I'm going to use a big one for one of the turrets, and I've got some small ones. Actually, I'm probably only going to use one of the small ones, but it's fine. I'll eat the rest. Okay, so we've cut that down. I will need to put some ganache on the top of it. You can see I've just pushed it on the side of the cake with more ganache. There's going to be a lot of chocolate ganache on this cake. I mean, I love ganache, but I don't think I can eat the full cake in this one. Okay, we'll go for that small Swiss roll on the top. Just going to go around the whole thing with another layer of ganache just because it wasn't overly smooth. And then we're going to create some more parts of the cake. This is going to be one of the turrets that's got like a little dome on the top. So I'm going to cut it to be a dome shape. And then I'm not going to need cake for everything. I will put some more cake in, but I think I'm going to use some Rice Krispie treats as well for this one. So I've melted some marshmallows down. I'm going to add some Rice Krispies to it. Usually I use an equal mix of marshmallows to Rice Krispies. Give it a good mix in. It's so sticky, a Rice Krispie treats. I do like eating them. I don't really like making them though. So some of my cakes are literally just going to be made of those Rice Krispie treats. So to stick our Rice Krispie treats to our board, I'm going to use a melted marshmallow. It's just going to help them glue down in place. Once I've got those Rice Krispies in place, and I'm going to do the whole of layer 1 in Rice Krispies, I am going to cover them in a layer of chocolate ganache just to try and help smooth it down a little bit for underneath the brickwork. So I will cover this with fondant later. Now, obviously, like you don't have to use Rice Krispies, but this is going to be a big cake, and I don't actually need like a huge cake. This one I will probably just cut up and give to like my friends, family, neighbors, and most of them like Rice Krispie treats, so I think that's fine. So I'm going to stick my next cake board on for my layer 2. You can dowel between the layers as well. And of course we've got this empty bit here, which I will need to dowel just to make sure it doesn't collapse because there'll be a cake going on top of that. My second layer, I'm going to use buttercream and layers of cake. Once I've got my cake layers on, I'm going to cover the whole thing in some ganache. And I'm going to spend my time smoothing it the best I can. We're going to need to add some dowels, and then we can add our third tier, which is the one I showed you earlier on. And then that little extra dome-shaped bit just on the side there. And this is my M&Ms, so these are going to go in the Halloween colour ones I found in the cupboard. But I like this colour. So they're just going to go into that hole. Just make sure the ganache is set really firm before you add these. Otherwise, they will just stick to the ganache. So I'm going to roll out some paste here. Now, this is actually modelling paste that I've got here in a grey. I'm using the Saracino brand one. I'll try and put links below to everything I've used. And I'm trying to texture it a bit with a texture mat. This is a Dinky Doodle texture mat. Again, I will put links below. My plan was to put it over a cake tin that I've got that's a dome shape and let it set. But I think it's going to be easier if I put it inside the tin. And then what I'll do is I'll cut off any excess that goes beyond the edge of the tin. I'm going to put this dome to the side to set while I work on the rest of the cake. So I've used modelling paste, so it will set a little bit harder than if I use fondant. For the next bit, I'm going to roll out a strip of, this time, fondant in grey, or sugar paste as you want to call it. And we're going to use this to cover now the tiers of our castle. So I'm going to start with that bottom tier, and I think we'll have to do it in sections, otherwise it's going to be just too big a piece of fondant for me to kind of cover over the whole cake. I am sticking it on with a little bit of piping gel, which is essentially just kind of a bit like glucose syrup. Once it's on, I am going to texture it. So again, I'm using that stone patterned texture mat. It might be called a concrete texture mat. Like I say, I'll put links below to it, but it's a dinky doodle mat that I'm using. And then I'm going to individually draw in the stonework. Now, this seemed like a great idea at the time, and I think it's a really nice effect, but actually I do have molds and texture mats that I could have really done this with, which I should have used, but they weren't the exact style bricks that I wanted, so I thought I would go about doing it by hand instead, which was fine on that first bit of tier. It's as I start to do more that I get a little bit fed up of putting those lines in, and you have to work pretty quick, because if not, your fondant will start to dry, and as you're putting the lines in, your fondant will kind of wrinkle. So just be careful of that. You also want to cut out your archways for your doors while the fondant is still soft. I'm trying to cover everywhere. It was a little bit tricky just getting in this underneath part here. So I'm going to cover the cake board that sticks out on the side as well. Also texturing this. Now the texture should be more obvious when I paint the cake up later on. I'll just push in my little pillars. The wooden cake dowels I'm pushing in, guys, covering more. So again, repeating this whole process, working on it a little bit at a time so that each time I've covered a bit, we can do a bit more with that brickwork. I would love to tell you how long that took me to cover it all in those stones, but I didn't time it longer than I wanted it to. Okay, now I did make a base or a cake stand for this castle to go on. So at this stage, I'm asking Richard to help me because already the cake is heavier than what I can easily lift without dropping it. It is a cake stand that I've decorated underneath, guys. Those of you that are in my subscription service, I have done a behind the scenes on this one, and I fully show you how I make that cake stand that's underneath it. And also I show you how to make some flames as well that light up. You'll see those in a minute. They all kind of go in the behind the scenes for this one. There was also more brickwork to put in on this one after that. And this dome bit underneath was made out of Rice Krispies. Now, I think I went a bit too big with the dome. And I didn't realize until I was really too far on with this one to be able to change it. But now it's just a case of adding more details. So like the wall, and there is very quickly getting to be an awful lot of sugar paste to this particular cake. Now, I mean, I like it because it works well for this decoration. I don't know what else I could have probably done this decoration with. Maybe I could have done these bits hollow, like these extra little tube bits that are going on the side. But time-wise, it was quicker and easier to just put it on in solid fondant. The castle itself isn't thickly covered in it, just these kind of extra bits now, which are really adding on a lot of extra bulk. And again, we're adding like extra detailing. And the one thing that I am not great with is kind of things that are kind of geometric or very straight lines and shapes. So it was quite difficult for me. And I think for some of these parts where I did use fondant, like I say, for all of this, apart from that big dome that I showed you earlier, it might have been a little bit easier if I'd have added more Tylos or CMC or even swapped for modeling paste on some of these little bits that are going on because they were squashing very easily when I was picking them up and I was getting finger marks in them just way too easily. Okay, so I wanted to try and get all these extra like additional bits that go on the top of the towers and the turrets, and I don't know what you call all the detailing. I do apologize, guys. I wanted to try and keep it as much as I could to like what the little castle is in the new movie. However, at this point, haven't seen the new movie because I promised myself as a treat for when I finished making this cake that I would go see the movie. And the cake took like way longer than I thought it was gonna. Like I didn't realize just how many individual like parts and components they are. But as you can see, a lot of it is very repetitive on this particular cake. But the extra details, they do like add to it. I'm gonna use the extruder, I think you call it an extruder, with different shapes now to help. Because if I try rolling all these shapes by hand, they're just not going to be very neat and tidy. Again, sticking it on with some piping gel because that was a little bit stickier than using water or even the edible glue. It just clung much quicker to the cake. Then I'm going to make a range of rectangles for the bricks that go up the top of the turrets. I wanted to keep these thick. Not because I wanted to eat a lot of fondant, but I just thought it would look more effective. The only thing is they've got a slight, can you see, kind of curve on the edge where the knife was cut through. But I am just going to press these on. Now I do have to watch out for the weight of them because if I make them too big and heavy, they're just going to slide down the cake. And I do need them to cling there in place. They're not overly straight. Some of them were a bit wonky. Okay, so this next bit was a pain, a real pain. So I had to make these individual shapes and put them on this kind of top bit here. I couldn't get them all to fit, so I cut the top off each one. And then where I'm pressing just now, I accidentally rested my elbow on the cake and bent it. But yeah. So these extra detailings, they did take me quite a long time. I know I've said that lots of times, but it did take a long time. The hardest bit was getting these edge bits to stick against the silver cake board that I had underneath because it didn't cling very well. It clings well to the other pieces of fondant, but not to the board on the edges. So I did have to be extra generous with that piping gel and kind of wait for it to set a little bit. And then there was measuring. I hate measuring things. There's some measuring involved for doing this brickwork. So the idea was that I put it on solid and then I would cut pieces out, but I'm going to let that firm up a bit before I cut the pieces out. So we'll go back to other areas and work on those. I'm going to cover my little dowels, which will be the pillars. I'm just covering them in a layer of grey fondant. Let's give them a bit of a roll out. I'm sticking them on with piping gel again, and we're going to place these all the way around there. Then hopefully the other bit's firmed up slightly and I can cut out this weird kind of, is it pentagon shape? And then I'm adding in little squares. Let's put a little dome on top of that mini Swiss roll. And then I'm going to add lots of additional pieces. Again, it's a lot of weight going on, so hopefully it's okay. I will repeat this detailing in other places. And then it is ready to add some color to. So this is just the edible powders. So I'm just using a black edible dust. And it's mixed with clear alcohol. I'm actually using dipping solution, which is like an edible alcohol that you buy for cake decorating. And I'm just going to paint that on all over the castle. It's going to run between those bricks. Then I'm going to work on the doors. So I've used a texture mat to create a wood effect. And I'm just going to cut out using some templates that I made myself. So we'll do 2 doors. So I'll add some lines. I'm just using the ruler so it looks like planks of wood. Then we're going to paint them up just using some black edible powder. So it's the same one. This is the Saracino one. Actually, guys, I've got a discount code for Saracino products that you can use on their website, which is HappyCakers10. It just gets you 10% off. I'll put it below anyway. But yeah, we're painting that on the doors, and then we're going to do additional detailing. Now, the black I've actually rolled very thin, and because it's so thin, I've swapped to modelling paste rather than fondant for these, and they're going to look like the kind of, are they iron bars? Is that what you call them, that go over a door? So we'll stick 2 of those on there. I'm just using water to stick them. And then we're going to put some little circles all the way across, like so. Again, just sticking them with a little bit of water. And then once these have had a bit of time to dry, I'm just going to push my doors in place. I'm going to create an archway with more grey fondant. And again, we'll press in the little lines so it looks more like individual stones. I'll create one for the bottom door. And then we're going to add extra detailing like the little spikes. I actually really like the spikes. I think it really does add a nice effect. There's some little curtains kind of in this bit that comes off at the side of the castle. I'm going to use a stencil. It's not the right pattern. I actually needed diamonds, but I didn't have a diamond template, so this will have to do. And it's just like a deeper red powder, edible powder dust that I have dusted on there just with a brush. I've put it on dry and then peeled the stencil off. So this is going to give me kind of a curtain effect, so we're going to put a few of those on there. I'm not sure I've put them in the right place or not, but never mind. Windows, I'm going to start with some white thinly rolled fondant, and I'm just going to place that in each window. Then I'm going to add some more edible powder dust. I'm going for yellow, orange, and red on there, so it looks like the windows are glowing. Now, I would have loved to have done the windows so that they lit up, but I just decided it was too much work. Other bits of it light up, though. You'll see. So extra details, again, more little stonework bits. I don't have molds for all the shapes, so I did have to try and create some of them, literally just by pressing things with my finger to shapes. More of these little stud shapes. And then Bowser's head. This is going to go on the top. You can see how I made Bowser, because I made him the same way as I did in the live that we did the other week. So don't forget to check out the live that is still available to watch. And that was a Bowser topper, but I've made this in the same way. Okay, let's just add a little bit more painting on those newer parts that I've added. It actually looks a slightly different colour to the other bits, but hopefully it'll be okay. Now I'm going to add some little black pieces on here. Now I've swapped for modelling paste again because I want these black pieces to be nice and firm. Also, I've put window sills all the way around the windows, or around some of them at this point. And then the flames I have made using isomalt. Now I have got, or will have, I should say, a tutorial in the subscription service for making isomalt flames that glow. and that will be available in there very soon for my members. Okay, so let's finish the window frames and all the extra details. So we've got that dome on the top that we let set earlier, and then we're adding more spikes to it. We'll put them all over. And then I realised I could probably squeeze in some more of those M&Ms. So let's take the dome off. Let's push these in. So the dome I haven't stuck on, I have simply placed on so that it's easy to remove if we want. And a little flag on there like so. And then I think it's a silver colour on these studs and some other bits of the castle. Now, there's toothpicks holding Bowser's head in place. They will come out. I will take those out. And then let's add those isomalt flames that I talked about earlier. Okay, so Bowser, I did make Bowser in the live, like I mentioned. I didn't get a chance to add colour to him, so I'm just dusting a little bit of colour just so that we've got some shading on there. And we can even put a bit of green on for his scales. I'm going to mix it with Rejuvenator Spirit again. Just dot that on the shoulders, maybe some above his knees. So there it is, all finished, I think. We just need to cut into it. I did make Bowser for this one, but he's just a little bit too big to fit in. I made him too big. I did do a YouTube live for this if you do want to watch that in a different video as well, guys. But thank you for watching. Let's see what it looks like inside. But before we cut it up, actually, let's have a look and see what our castle looks like lit up in the dark. I really do wish I had put some lights in some of those windows, but it would have taken way too long. One last look at it before I cut into it. Okay, and here's a little look at inside Bowser's castle. Let me know if you have a go at this one yourself. See you for the next one soon.